Thank you for joining. Enjoy the story. It has been over 4 years since Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 disappeared without a trace, but for the families of the passengers and crew, the pain and grief are still raw. Among the 239 people on board the doomed flight were married couple, Zhang and Li, who were on their way back to their native China from a romantic getaway in Kuala Lumpur. The two had met and fallen in love in their early 20s, and after years of dating, they decided to tie the knot and start a family. Zhang, 32, worked as a sales manager for a technology company, while Li, 31, was a financial analyst. They were both well-respected and successful in their respective careers, but their greatest accomplishment was their 6-year-old daughter, Xiao Mei. Xiao Mei was the light of their lives, and they had saved up for months to take her to Disneyland for her 7th birthday. They had planned everything meticulously, from the hotel accommodations to the rides they would go on, and they were both excited to see the joy on their daughter's face. However, fate had other plans for them. On the night of March 8, 2014, Zhang and Li boarded Flight MH370 along with Xiao Mei. They hugged their daughter tightly, promising to bring her back souvenirs and gifts, and left for the airport. As they boarded the plane, they never could have imagined that it would be the last time they would see their daughter or each other. The plane took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport and was expected to arrive in Beijing, but it never made it. For the next few weeks, the world was gripped with the mystery of Flight MH370. Search teams scoured the oceans for any sign of wreckage or survivors, and the families of the passengers and crew clung to hope that their loved ones would be found alive. Zhang and Li's family were no exception. They spent hours glued to the news, hoping for a miracle. They put up flyers of their missing family members around the city, pleading with anyone who had any information to come forward. But as days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, their hope slowly dwindled. They were forced to face the reality that Zhang and Li were gone, and with them, their dreams and aspirations for the future. The grief was almost too much to bear. Zhang's parents, who had retired and moved to Beijing to be closer to their grandchildren, were inconsolable. They had lost their only son, and with him, their hope for a happy retirement surrounded by their family. Li's parents were equally devastated. They had lost their daughter, who had always been a source of strength and comfort for them. They had never imagined that they would have to bury their child before they themselves passed away. But the hardest hit was Xiao Mei. The little girl who had been looking forward to her trip to Disneyland now had to face the harsh reality of a life without her parents. She was taken in by her grandparents, who did their best to care for her and provide her with the love and attention she needed, but it was never the same. Xiao Mei missed her parents terribly. She would often ask her grandparents when they were coming back, and they would have to explain to her that they were gone, and they weren't coming back. The loss of her parents took a toll on her. She stopped eating and sleeping properly, and her grades at school began to suffer. Her once cheerful and bubbly personality was replaced by a quiet sadness, and she struggled to make friends. Zhang and Li's family tried their best to support Xiao Mei through her grief. They enrolled her in therapy and arranged for her to meet other children who had also lost parents in the tragedy. They wanted her to know that she was not alone, and that there were people who cared about her and wanted to help her heal. Despite their efforts, however, Xiao Mei's pain never fully went away. She would often cry herself to sleep at night, clutching a photo of her parents that she kept by her bedside. She missed them so much, and there was nothing anyone could do to bring them back. As time passed, the world slowly moved on from the tragedy of Flight MH370. News headlines turned to other stories, and the families of the passengers and crew were left to grieve in silence. But for Zhang and Li's family, the pain and heartbreak never faded. They continued to miss their loved ones every day, and the void left by their absence was never filled. It was a cruel twist of fate that such a happy family could be torn apart so suddenly and inexplicably. Zhang and Li had so much to live for, and Xiao Mei had her whole life ahead of her. But in an instant, everything was taken away from them, leaving behind only pain and sorrow. The story of Zhang and Li's family is just one of many tragedies that occurred on Flight MH370. For the families of the passengers and crew, the pain of their loss will never go away. But they continue to hold on to the hope that someday, they will find answers and closure, and that their loved ones will be remembered and honored for the lives they lived. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.